Hello everybody, welcome to the Chensor Dynasty here on twitch.tv/jchensor. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit interesting here. We're going to be doing some match analysis. Majorboy Lucia using V-Skill 2. We're going to watch some of his matches, and not only are we going to see how he uses V-Skill 2 to craft a storyline that he tells to the opponents so that he can take advantage of them. But we're going to write this down because there's something that's very important called key moments in fighting games, and I'll explain this a little bit more, but it'll be very interesting now because you'll start to see the patterns that he starts to generate off of this, and how a game like Street Fighter V, which is rife with the Street Fighter RPS, which is the throw, attack, shimmy, mix-up, and how Majorboy turns those situations, which are virtual RPSs, into situations that are advantageous for him by telling a story in a specific way. This is on SFV Fans channel. This is TOKIDO Urian. What people don't understand is how much of a story is being told all the time by players when they play fighting games. Here we go, mix-up time. Okay, first goes for the throw, but that's not what I'm worrying about right now. I want to see the run cancel mix-up. Very good pressure here. Okay, here we go. First run cancel here. So by default, what does Majorboy go for? Stand heavy punch into the run. Like I said, this works on 4-frame characters. Okay, so this works on 4-frame characters. So let's go back to over here to this notepad here. Okay, stand heavy punch into run into V-Skill 2. And what was the result? Counter hit combo. Alright? So this is the first time that he's done this, and he went for the option that puts him -2. So by default, he went with the safest option that cannot be punished. So to start the guessing game here, Majorboy has gone directly into the safest option, which is -2, cannot be punished, puts him in a disadvantaged situation. TOKIDO hit the button, the counter hit worked. This is the first part of the story over here. Okay, this is the first chapter of the story that Majorboy has told. Alright, so now what's the mix-up here? He waits, okay, run, stop. Oh, but guess what? TOKIDO still hit a button. Okay, so let's just try to do this. So stand hand punch, run into stop, but you know what? TOKIDO mashed and won. So what's happening here now is that Majorboy is thinking to himself, okay, he still hit a button, but you see what he tried to do. Because he got the counter hit last time, he says TOKIDO is a smart player. He's scared now. He knows not to hit a button because I can beat him. So what I'm going to do is run stop and try to keep going with pressure. But TOKIDO said, nah, fam, I'm going to keep mashing. So in this tale, and again, this storyline has continued. We have reached the second chapter of the story, and it is that TOKIDO is going to mash anyway. All right, here we go. See? All right. TOKIDO still hasn't learned. TOKIDO mashed. Let's go back to here again. Stand heavy punch into run into V-Skill 2. Counter hit combo. You're starting to see a little bit of the game here, right? So now what you see Majorboy is trying to do is like, okay, TOKIDO's going to keep hitting buttons. So I'm going to keep doing V-Skill 2. And again, Urian is a 4-frame character, so he cannot stop standing heavy punch run into nubbing needle. He cannot stop that as a 4-frame character. So because TOKIDO mashed the second time, what Majorboy has done is returned back to the first option, which is the safe option that beats the last thing that TOKIDO did. So we're resetting the story now back to this and really trying to emphasize to TOKIDO, you can't hit buttons. TOKIDO might not be familiar with the nubbing needle. That is a very huge possibility because not a lot of people use it. Maybe he didn't know you can't mash in that situation. So what Majorboy is trying to do right now is make sure that he teaches TOKIDO you cannot mash buttons here. This is the story I am trying to tell you. This is the tale of the tape. You cannot mash buttons. I'm going to show you again. Okay, gets the cross up there. All right, here we go. Probably again. Yep, here we go. And see, again, he did crouching heavy punch, which is the same thing, only it works on 3-frame buttons as well. But guess what he did? Guess what he did? He did it again. He went for the button again. Run into V skill 2. Do you see what he's doing here? Do you see what he's doing here? He's done it now. So he did it once, hoped TOKIDO would learn. TOKIDO didn't learn. So now he's just going to keep doing it to really hammer home to TOKIDO, you cannot hit the button. You cannot hit the button. So he's going to do it again. And guess what? He gets the counter hit again. So he's done it 3 times now. He's really trying to educate TOKIDO that you cannot hit buttons here. Here we go, mix-up time. Oh, okay, just hit him, combo, so no need for the mix-up. Okay, block, block, okay, too far away. Gets the counter hit, set up, nice block by TOKIDO. Just applying a little bit different pressure here. So what he's trying to do is establish a lot of Lucia's other games, combos into burn kicks and stuff. Crouch medium kick into run is like -6 or 8. So there's a big hole in there. So he doesn't want to do crouch medium kick into run into nubbing needle. Can be jabbed no matter what. So he's going to just try to play some of the other game here until he can establish that running mix up again. Okay, here we go. Standing heavy punch, run, and he did it again. But interestingly enough, TOKIDO did EX headbutt. So what TOKIDO maybe has realized now is that run into nubbing needle is not a true block string. So he did it again. But you see exactly what I said earlier on. Because of number 2, because TOKIDO mashed this one time, all Majorboy has done now is the same mix-up over and over and over again. Because he's trying to make sure that TOKIDO understands the situation. And with TOKIDO getting the EX headbutt and beating him, I think Majorboy now at this point is like, okay, TOKIDO kind of gets this. Now, TOKIDO could have just been like, I'm just going to do EX headbutt mashed here, and it just happened to work in this situation. But this is still good information for both of them because this is such a call, like this is one of those light bulb moments. This could seem like an innocuous interaction between most players, but because this headbutt actually beat the situation here, whether or not TOKIDO knew this was going to work, he knows it now. Both players are going to be like, okay, very, very key moment of a matchup here. This was learned, and now this is going to add information to the game. Whether both of these players knew it or not before, and I'm going to assume that they both knew what was happening here, but even if you play against a lower level player, this is one of those situations that's such a, that now you're pretty sure they noticed. Sometimes things like this can happen in matches and you can, it's weird, I don't understand it, but in your heart, innately, you can tell the opponent didn't notice what happened. But this is one of those situations that's such a big call out and such a big, situation that now as the Lucia player and as the Urian player, both of you are probably like, okay, that's interesting. I'll remember that for next time because that'll work. And so it's just one of those situations that you know both players noticed and now you've known has added to the story. This is a little plot twist that has been added to the story and now you're going to actually have to play a little bit differently. He's trying to avoid Lucia's narrative. Yeah. Absolutely. You want to beat this storyline. You don't want to keep doing it. And that's the whole thing about fighting games, is that both players are telling stories and they're both just trying to destroy each other's story. You know, it's like one of those things where you're a kid, where you're playing with your sibling with He-Man, and you're like trying to establish a story, and like Skeletor manages to do this, and the other kid doesn't like that because he uses He-Man, and he's like, no, but then He-Man does this and stops it. And then the other kid goes like, well, Skeletor actually had this the whole entire time. You know, that's basically what fighting games are, is like two kids trying to play and tell a story, but they both have a different idea where the story wants to go, and they keep trying to shove it in that direction passive aggressively without actually like fighting each other and stuff. So, you know, that's kind of what fighting games are in a lot of ways. So back here, okay, she's in story, and guess what? Because of that situation now, Majorboy has changed the storyline all of a sudden. Now he's actually canceled into run stop again. Remember, this was his second option in the storytelling. This was actually the second option that he had in the storytelling. So he went, do the frame trap, run stop, got hit, do the frame trap, do the frame trap, do the frame trap. Aha! TOKIDO has learned. Now I'm going to go back to the second story, part of the story that I tried to tell earlier, and now is doing run stop again. So he's going to do a run stop here, and what happens? TOKIDO mashes a button, but mashes late. You see, TOKIDO was a little nervous now, so Urien had a late button, or late crouching light punch, and basically Majorboy did nothing. So technically speaking, TOKIDO won because he took control of the situation. But what was happening there was that he knows that the EX headbutt has a startup of 12 frame startup. I said crouching heavy punch run stop is a 3 frame, minus 3 frames. So he did this minus 3 frames. It's going to be safe against Urien because Urien is a 4 frame button character. So he does this, but he blocks because he wants to see if TOKIDO keeps telling his story of the EX headbutt. TOKIDO didn't. He might not have even been charged for the headbutt, to be honest with you. But what Majorboy's doing is testing to see if TOKIDO goes for it again. He would have blocked it and punished it. But not only that, he's trying to tell TOKIDO, hey, look, you can't EX headbutt every single time because I'm going to run and stop. Now, even though he run, stopped, did nothing, and TOKIDO jabbed and took control of the situation, Majorboy doesn't care. Because now what Majorboy has done is shown TOKIDO, I am willing to run and stop and try to bait out your EX headbutt. The next phase of the story has been told. So now we're going to use the EX Fireball to get in. Here we go. Pressure. Okay, run stop again. He saw last time the run stop from TOKIDO produced a late button from TOKIDO. So now what Majorboy has realized is that TOKIDO might also be delaying the crouch light punch to block the nubbing needle and to also challenge maybe run stop. So what he does now is crouching medium kick run into stop. Now, like I said, this is super not safe. Crouching medium kick run stop, I believe, like I said, is like -6, -8 or something like that. But this is the next phase of the story. He's testing to see how TOKIDO reacts to run stop. And in this situation here, TOKIDO did nothing. And then what he managed to get was his crouching light punch. Lucia crouching light punch. And so she wins. Because so she has the advantage. She took control of a minus situation, stole a turn, and now she has the advantage because crouch light punch is plus on block. So now it's Lucia's turn, and what he decides to do is go for a shimmy in this situation. And as you see here, TOKIDO kind of bites on it, and so she gets the shimmy situation off of this into the combo. Okay, delayed, trying to see if TOKIDO goes for an EX headbutt. And again, the interesting thing is, all of these situations, I could create a new notepad and start telling the story for that situation too. After crouch light punch, you know, that time Majorboy did a shimmy. The next time he did nothing. Did crouch light punch, nothing. And TOKIDO did not. So every one of these key situations is a completely different notepad with a completely different story. And I'm only focusing on this one story. Another story is what happens when TOKIDO gets off the ground. We've seen a meaty throw from Majorboy. We've seen Stan light kick into a throw in that situation. So each one of these is a different thread of a story being told, and trust me, they're all being remembered as separate threads in these different situations. And this is why fighting games is hard, because you have to remember all these threads and what happened in those situations, and it is really, really kind of scary to do. And this is why I say mental fatigue is so hard, is because if you don't remember these storylines, then you're going to basically get destroyed, because now you are trying to play the game as a random RPS, while your opponent, who isn't suffering from mental fatigue, is remembering everything. Okay, stop the dash forward, and now he's in. So what's the mix-up at this point? Okay, he goes for a true frame trap here with the crouching medium kick. That's just what he does. Into the burn kick, because that's a safe option. And again, crouching medium kick, run into stop. And crouching light punch. He won again. So, like I said, this is not real. This is not a real mix-up. He can be punished in this situation, but he's going to try it again because last time it worked, so he's going to do it again. So what he's trying to do now is establish again this story. It worked last time, and what he's realized now is maybe I can do this again, and maybe TOKIDO will be scared again. And so I'm going to try it again, and guess what? It worked. So now Majorboy is getting this kind of storyline in his head, and this is all coming off of running into Nubbing Needle way back when he did Standing Heavy Punch into V-Skill 2. That V-Skill 2 gave him this whole entire situation. And yes, this is absolutely similar to Vega's Claw Switch situation, Azul Claro. Again, Street Fighter V is full of this situation. This is the Street Fighter RPS. Every character does this, and every character does this in spades. And this is why this game, to a lot of people, feels like it's a guessing game and it's random, because Street Fighter V puts you into this situation over and over and over and over and over again. But the thing about it is, if you play the game and keep each of those situations separate in their own threads and understanding how the opponent reacted the last time you were in this key moment, that is how you are going to succeed in Street Fighter V. Let's keep going. Let's see what Majorboy does next. Run into this again. So what he's done now is, because 3 times in a row he did run stop into nothing, what he's hoping now is that TOKIDO is going to challenge him. So again, look, run stop, run stop, run stop. So what he's hoping that he has done now is that he has taught TOKIDO that I'm going to run stop a lot. So he's trying to get TOKIDO to hit a button again. TOKIDO does not, however, he actually doesn't do anything. TOKIDO blocks. TOKIDO blocks here, right? So now what's happened is Lucia is going to be -2 in this situation. This is actually the first time we've run into this situation. This is the first time we've run into this situation. And let's see if Majorboy decides to take advantage of this and send a message right now. Does Majorboy EX uppercut right here to show TOKIDO right away that you are not necessarily safe and I'm minus, or is he going to play the safe route and block? Let's find out, because this is the next layer of the mix-ups. Okay. Yeah, one of the best ways to learn how to play Street Fighter 5 is to get yourself out of habits. I have habits. Low jab, walk up, throw is a habit of mine. And so I get people teching me a lot. I need to learn to shimmy a little. I always have to consciously be aware that I've done something many times in a row before I realize it's a story that I've been telling the same way over and over and over again, so everybody knows the ending of my story. So it always takes me a few moments before I can realize and remember all the different threads. That's why I have trouble winning a lot of the times when I play online, because I don't recognize some of these threads. The top players out there recognize that. I just retweeted a video of Shine, who basically jumped over and punished a fireball, and he was like, yeah, this guy has a fireball pattern. Walk forward, fireball. And the Ryu walked forward and then threw a fireball, and he jumped over and punished it. He was like, yo, I called it. And again, that was a thread that Shine spotted. Was literally Ryu walked forward, threw a fireball was a thread that he spotted. There's no way I would have caught that thread. That's how strong players work. Every situation turns into a key moment that they can turn into a thread. Even something as innocuous as Ryu taking a tiny step and then throwing a fireball. To get good at fighting games, you need to break your own patterns and start realizing all these key moments and all these patterns from people. It's very, very hard to do. The first time you get the experience of, yes, I'm doing it this sequence because I'm telling a story and I was right 5 times in a row, the first time that happens to you is the first time you will understand the magic of fighting games.